Hello, Scott Conway with mothersraisingsons.com, and of course we're talking about the 4P 360 leadership system. Now this is the last video on this system in this series, so this is lesson number 7, and what I'm going to talk about today is having a leadership philosophy. Now the 4P 360 system is a leadership philosophy. Now it is a leadership philosophy that you can use to evaluate every leadership tool you ever learn in any leadership system you ever run across, in any leadership training you ever come across, and for that matter, because parenting is leadership, in any parenting technique you get taught. And then it allows you also to adapt whatever technique or tool that you learn. So the 4P 360 as a leadership system, because it has the 4 pillars, you can look at any leadership technique, say, okay, is it powerful? Does it actually work? Is it practical? Will it accomplish the job that I want with a minimum, or preferably no, unintended consequences, that it's not going to make a bigger mess for me down the line or a different kind of mess for me down the line? Is it principled? Meaning, does it work for reasons? Are there sound, maybe psychological, sociological, logical, practical reasons why it works, so that you can adapt it and adjust it to any given situation? And then, is it positive? Does it focus on what I do want rather than what I don't want? Does it build the relationship rather than destroy the relationship? Because, of course, especially with our kids, we want to build the relationship with our children. And one of the challenges is, of course, as parents, you can get to a place with employees where you can fire them, but you're not going to fire your kids. And there will be times you're going to need to basically burn off some of your relationship capital with your kids in order to get them to do something that you know they need to do. So when you know those are going to come up, of course, you do not want to be just spending that relationship capital at times where you really don't need to, because you will need to sometimes. And so is it positive, or at least as positive as possible? Does it build as much relationship as possible? And it gives you these 4 pillars to use to filter and sort and kind of evaluate everything that comes your way. But also we have the 7 directions. So when someone's telling you how to lead, or someone's telling you how to parent, a lot of times they're saying, okay, you are the authority, and this is leading down, getting your kid to do, getting your employee to do, getting your team to do. You're the captain, you're in charge, you tell them what to do. But then you flip that around and say, okay, so if I'm here, is this also what I would want my boss doing down to me, or how I wish my parent had done it with me? Across, what would my peers think down at the kid level? What would my kids' peers think? And you have all these different perspectives to look at. Now, no one of them necessarily controls. I mean, ultimately say, well, my kids' friends might think that, I'm just a nutsy, hyper-controlling mom, but, this needs to be done. And that's perfectly okay. But you look at it as, okay, is there a way I can present it so that my kids' friends aren't busy undermining me? That maybe if I do this well enough, my kids' friends will actually end up backing me up. And by the way, my mother was a master of this, because one of the things that she did is, as a mom, she said, well, I want to check in on my kid, because I know my kid has like this circle of 70 friends. Now, I know who shows up at my house to come over for the parties, and she's seen me literally have 70 people at my house. And she got to meet all of them, and she liked most of them. A few of them she had a little bit of a problem with, but, she wanted to see who these people were. Well, when we're at parties at someone else's house, well, she wants to see, okay, is there actually a chaperone there? Are the parents actually there? Who's showing up at these parties? And she kind of wanted to know. And so one of the things that she did is, okay, as the mom, I want to check on my kid. And the way she would check on her kid is she would show up and she'd meet the parents. And of course, if the parents aren't there, her showing up is going to create an awkward situation. And because she's going to be showing up, who's there, she's going to get to see who's there. She's going to get to see at least a slice of what we're doing. But she also was aware, okay, so this is me being a mom, but then what are my son's friends going to think? And she was aware that, I had a social life that I was going to have to be living too. And she didn't want to, undermine me. And so what she decided would work, and it turned out it was brilliant, is when she came over, she would bring pizza and she would bring soda. So all of my friends knew, you invite Scott, there's a high probability Scott's mom's going to show up. And if Scott's mom is going to show up, there's a high probability you're going to get pizza and Coke for your party. So sometimes I'd be at party and so is your mom coming by? And what they were really asking is, are we going to get pizza and Coke, or do we need to order our own? And so it ended up being a good deal all around, because then it actually enhances my social status, because you invite me to the party, you've got a reasonable chance of getting extra pizza and Coke for your party. And that she would pop in, and everybody liked her. Most of my friends called her mom, because she just had that kind of relationship. And she would parent me in such a way that she was sensitive to my social standing. She would talk to my friends about me and say, I'm the mom, and it's easy for the mom to just think his kid's wonderful. But what do you see at school? Since you see him at school, I don't. And she had a great relationship with my friends as well. And that was just her being sensitive as she's doing the parent thing. Also, that I have a life this way, and then she's also using that to influence diagonally. And then she's also working with the kids on how do you influence me at the upward diagonal. And so she's applying some of this 4P360 system. Now, when you look at the way she did some of that, and you apply the 4 pillars, was it powerful? Did it work? Yes, it worked. Was it practical? Yes, it was practical. She did it in a way so that she diffused the unintended consequences. Was it principled? Yes, it was principled, that she could adjust and adapt based upon the party, based upon the parents, based upon the friends. And was it positive? Yes, it built her relationship with me. It also built her relationship with my friends, which gave her more influence diagonally, but also gave her more access to my friends diagonally as well. And is that the way she would like people to do stuff with her? So if she's, say, at a workplace, yeah, you do it in a way that will enhance her status. And I even learned this because later on with girlfriends and with my wife, if I'm going to do something for my wife, I do it at her workplace in a way that will enhance her station at work. So that way her friends will see her kind of lifted up, and how well she gets treated, and how great all these things go. And that will enhance her station at work and make her seem like she's even more wonderful. And she's already regarded as incredibly wonderful at work, and so that was absolutely fantastic to be able to do more of this stuff for her. And so she could have a Mother's Day card or a Valentine's Day card waiting for her when she got home. But imagine the extra boost when you get it dropped off for you at work, and that her work friends get to see this too. And then being aware when I show up at work to visit that my behavior at her job is affecting her station at her job. And so I interact in a way that will lift her up, not tear her down. And so that me showing up as a plus, not just to my wife, but also to the business as a whole. And so this whole 4P360, it is a comprehensive, self-consistent leadership system. It is a leadership philosophy with an ever-expanding toolbox that you can use to also evaluate and adapt any tool or technique you might run across. And because you can adjust and tweak other tools, try to uncover the principle behind it, adjust it so it's powerful, adjust it so it's practical, adjust it so it's principled, and then do the positive counterpart. If you think it's too negative, look at it in all 8 directions and see how that would work in all the directions, and adjust and tweak it accordingly. So that is some of the beauty of the 4P360 system. And the more I've been teaching, the more I'm thinking, I'm probably going to have to include a Mothers Raising Sons variation of this inside of our website. I don't know that I'm going to do too much like this is a video blog. This starts off being publicly available before eventually gets archived only for the member moms. But I will probably be wanting to do some stuff with this later on for the member moms in the member site. Scott Conway, mothersraisingsons.com. I hope you've enjoyed your introduction to the 4P360 system, and that you can see the parenting applications for this, and that it helps you see how parenting is leadership.